Hi, and welcome to the Flipped Classroom course. This course introduction looks at what's driving change in education and the skills required by educators to keep up with the change. We'll also look at how the course will enhance your career in education. Finally, I'll provide you with an overview of the course structure, time commitments, and assessment. Okay, let's start by having a quick look at what's driving change in higher education. Throughout the course, I'll be putting forward the notion that education is heading towards a more media-driven, visual approach to delivery. This is in contrast to the text-based approach of the past, where there's been a heavy reliance on textbook material, which doesn't really suit all learning styles. Also, students these days are not consuming as much information in a book format. There's a range of devices they're using to take in information. In the current setting, technologies such as data projectors and interactive whiteboards have increased the use of media in the classroom. However, most learning environments are still weighted towards assigning textbooks as supplementary material and hoping that students actually read them. Although we're still using text-based education, there's been a shift in expectations from students. New platforms such as YouTube, lynda.com, and university-based videos such as Apple's IU and MOOCs are offering vast amounts of information and tuition in a media format students are expecting. The content is also available on the devices they use in everyday life. By no means am I suggesting textbooks are irrelevant. However, in the future, the dependency on textbooks is likely to diminish as media-based visual learning material increases and is available across multiple platforms. There's also supporting research to suggest that student engagement can be higher when visual media is used in the right way. This course will look at this research in some detail. As you've probably guessed by now, this course will look closely at the advantages of using visual media in education. The emphasis will be on using visual media both for facilitation and as supplementary material online. It's my personal opinion that the best learning experience is when there's a combination of facilitation and supplementary material. Students need to build relationships with their peers as well as their facilitator, and the flipped classroom model provides an opportunity to do this very well. So what are the skills educators require? I'll break this down into three parts. Firstly, a professional educator needs to be great at facilitating. I'll stress this course isn't focusing on how to do this. I'll make some suggestions as to how you may use visual media to enhance facilitator delivery, but you're a pro at delivering, so you don't need any input from me. As an educational professional, you'll also need to be efficient at instructional design. This involves planning content and designing an effective learning structure. With the volume of resources now available online, a large part of an educator's job is to curate content from multiple sources and design a structure that best channels this to students. And of course, educators, at the very least, need to have a basic understanding of media production. This may be as simple as designing learning content in PowerPoint, or you may want to extend your skills to producing video lectures for your class. In this course, we'll take a look at all these areas and you'll be provided with the knowledge and resources to enhance your career as an educator. Okay, so how will this course enhance your career? As technology changes the education landscape, it's a good idea to reflect on the role you perform as an educator and how your career can be enhanced by promoting your academic activity. The first thing we do as educators is acquire knowledge through ongoing study and research. As new information in your subject area comes to light, it's reflected in everything you design, deliver, and publish. As an educator, you're also required to appraise resources and select content that's suitable for the required learning outcomes of the subjects you teach. After appraising resources, you design learning programs suitable for your student demographic using a combination of your own material and third-party content. The next step is to deliver your subjects in a facilitated, online, or a blended environment. As you know, the strength of your research, quality of resources, and your course design will impact on how your students receive the subject. We should also emphasise that a critical role for an educator is to distribute information through collaboration, investigation, discussion, and academic publishing. This activity impacts greatly on your career. The role of an educator primarily incorporates all these tasks. So, a big influence on your career progression is your ability to promote your acquired knowledge, experience, and ideas across these areas, both within your institution and to a target audience globally. There's a lot of benefits for both your employer and yourself when new promotional channels are used to reach a targeted audience. You can use any media format you want on social media channels to reach students, alumni, colleagues, the broader academic community, and anyone else interested in the work you're doing. Many educational institutions are using some or all of these communication channels to enhance their profile and bring exposure to courses by showcasing both the research activity and course content of academic staff in a format that potential students, funding bodies, colleagues, the academic community and industry will find engaging and progressive. For you as an educator, your career will be enhanced dramatically by embracing the promotional opportunities that exist with new social media channels. The point here is that if you limit yourself to text for communication, you can't fully exploit the promotional opportunities available to enhance your academic profile. For self-promotion, it's beneficial to have at least a basic level of media production capability. Of course, of primary importance is you'll enhance the student experience by using channels that are part of their everyday life. For example, Facebook can be used extensively to communicate with current students, alumni, or interest groups. You will be in a position to embrace new methodologies, such as the flipped classroom model, which fully utilises the potential of a learning management system. And you'll be able to increase the potential for your subjects to be taught online to a global audience. Just to be completely transparent, I know you won't really engage with this course unless there's some tangible benefit to you. The self-promotion opportunity is just one benefit. I'll be explaining a lot more benefits during the course. For example, the potential to commercialise your own IP in online formats. Now let's look at how the course is structured. There are 5 units in the course. Firstly, we define the flipped classroom approach. Then we look at delivery approaches with an emphasis on visual storytelling techniques. Third unit looks at learning design. We'll then look at visualisation techniques that are useful for education. Finally, I'll introduce media production techniques. I'll now just briefly provide the learning outcomes for each unit. In the first unit, you'll recognise the key drivers of change in the global education industry and have a definition of the flipped classroom model. In the second unit, you'll understand your role when using new delivery modes and the benefits students will gain. On completion of the third unit, you'll be able to design learning programs that make delivery more engaging by using visual media. In the fourth unit, you'll gain an awareness of visual learning principles and how they're applied in learning environments. Finally, you'll understand the development process and be able to plan the skills you need to develop your own visual media. So here's the wrap-up of what's in it for you. You'll have a good understanding of new delivery practices and be able to articulate the benefits and drawbacks of delivery in the flipped classroom model. You'll have the opportunity to document your own unique and contemporary approach to learning delivery in your discipline area and use this as evidence of great teaching practice. You'll have the opportunity to build examples that demonstrate expertise in instructional and blended learning design. You'll learn visual learning techniques that will benefit your students and open up new promotional opportunities for your faculty and yourself. You'll have a professional development plan that sets a pathway for attaining the development skills you'd like to have. This can be media development skills at a basic, intermediate, or professional level. I'll help work out what skills best suit your career objectives as I support you during the course. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, great, but how much time is all this going to take? The answer's simple. You get to decide. You can look at the course and understand the basic theory in no time at all. If you want to put more time into the practical side of the course, that's great as well. Let me explain. The actual theory component for each unit will take probably maximum 2 hours to complete, even less if you're quick. This includes viewing the video material in the course and having a look at any third-party resources provided. So all up, you could probably have the basic theory in 5 to 10 hours for the whole course. But wait, there's also a practical component to the course. I stress this is not mandatory. This is a project that assists in developing media production skills using readily available tools. This is where you can start creating something for your students or for self-promotion. If you do decide to undertake the practical exercise, then I'd allocate between 20 to 40 hours across the 5 units to do this effectively. As an incentive, you'll receive a qualification if you complete the practical exercises assessment. So what's the assessment? The project couldn't be easier. You select a case study, scenario, or lecture on a topic of your choice and produce a media-based PowerPoint file for facilitation, or if you feel confident, you can take this a step further and produce a narrated video for publishing online. This can be as simple or as complex as you wish. Remember, the outcome for doing this project is that you'll create something that can be very useful for self-promotion. Okay, so now you'll have a basic idea of what the course is about and the reasons for taking it. If you'd like to learn a bit more about me, I'll give you some background information now. If not, Thanks for your time. I didn't really take the opportunity to introduce myself at the start of the video, so I thought it's probably a good idea to provide a brief background on myself. Hopefully, this brings at least a little bit of credibility to the course. I've had over 20 years' experience delivering into higher education environments at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels in institutions around the world. This has largely been in creative disciplines, IT subjects, and business courses such as MBA programs. I also run a production company comprising of an international team that specialise in transferring text-based content into visual media formats for learning institutions. We've completed countless projects using our visual learning approach. To encapsulate all of this, I'm a consultant that plans and implements strategies that support educational institutions with learning innovations such as blended learning. Much of this is professional development for academics and support staff. During the course, I share my positive and negative experiences of delivery and give you access to many of the visual learning production systems we use for development. I have heaps of visual learning examples from a wide range of higher ed disciplines that I use as supplementary material for the course as well. You can find out a little bit more about what I do on my website if you like. So that provides an overview of the Flipped Classroom course and a little bit more about me. Please let me know if you have any questions.